السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In our Tafsir at Fajr, we have reached verse 56 in Surah An-Nisa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained in the last few verses that how Allah has given the guidance and the books to the family of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and how some of them has accepted this and became believers, and some others from the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam, they rejected the message and they became disbelievers. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ آمَنَ بِهِ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ صَدَّ عَنْهُ وَكَفَى بِجَهَنَّمَ سَعِيرًا. Those people who have not only did not accept it, but they have prevented others from accepting the message. And for these people, the hellfire will be more than sufficient for them. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِنَا سَوْفَ نُسْلِيهِمْ نَارًا. Indeed, those people who have rejected the truth and who have rejected our revelations, who have rejected our signs, soon we're going to throw them into the fire. كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب. These people, when we put them in hellfire and their skins will be burned and roasted, then we keep the skin replacing for them so that they can continue to feel the pain. Subhanallah. Imagine that someone, gets into a burning state, and as we know, when you burn, the nervous system, the nerves that feel the pain are usually on the skin, on the top part. And that skin, once it's burned, then you lose the sensitivity, you don't feel the pain anymore. But Allah says we keep replacing their skins so that they can continue to feel the pain. It's a kind of scientific knowledge in the Quran, because this knowledge that the sensors are existing on the skin, the top part, was not known to humanity until some time ago, that they discovered that all the nerves are here on the skin side, and once you go beyond that, then you don't feel the pain. You've noticed if you have an injection, when you put the injection, only in the first instance you feel the pain. And then no matter how far the needle goes inside, then you don't feel the pain after that. Only in the beginning you feel the pain, because all the nerves are in the top part of the skin. So that was discovered, of course, in terms of science and biology recently, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained this, that Allah knows that this people, they lose their sensitivity and the pain after that, and when the skin is burned. So Allah says, we keep replacing the skin of the people so that they can continue feel the pain. Inna Allah kana azizan hakima. And Allah definitely has that power to make that happen. Think of that kind of technology that keeps replacing the skin of the people all the time. Every few minutes, every few hours, the skin of people will be replaced. It sounds so difficult in terms of medical technology of today, that you can replace the skin of a human being every few hours. And there are millions of people in Jahannam that each one of them will happen to it. Sometimes when we think about the kind of technology that will be available in Jannah and Jahannam, then we forget about this technology that we have today, because a lot of times we get so impressed with the technology of today that, technology can do this, technology can do this. But imagine the kind of technology that Allah will make available in Jannah and Jahannam. In Jannah, Allah says, مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ. Whatever you want, you will get it. Whatever you want, whatever you imagine that comes to your mind, right away it is in front of you. That kind of technology, imagine. And this kind of technology in terms of medical technology that keeps replacing the skin every few minutes or every few hours for all those people inside the Jahannam. So Allah is Aziz. Allah has the power that He can do that. And also He is Hakim. He is also full of wisdom. So He does not abuse His power. He uses His power appropriately. And also if you notice, whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains something that it's very hard for us to understand its mechanism, then Allah says, Inna Allah Azizun Hakim. Allah is full of might and full of wisdom. Notice in the Quran, more than 25 places, Allah says, Inna Allah Azizun Hakim. All those places, the verse before it talks about a miracle usually. Something that human beings cannot understand its mechanism, that how does that happen? Birth of Jesus, Musa alayhi salam's miracles, all these, every time then Allah says, Inna Allah Azizun Hakim. Allah is full of power and full of wisdom that He can make these things happen, and He is doing it for a reason. On the other hand, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَنُدْخِلُهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. Those other people who believe in our revelations, who believe in our signs, and do good deeds, we enter them into the gardens of paradise, under which the rivers flow, and they will be there forever. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. So notice that in the Quran, the two conditions of success in the Day of Judgment is always Iman and Amal, Amal as-Salih. These are the only two criteria that Allah will judge people based on. In the Day of Judgment, there's no other thing other than Iman and Amal. First, the Iman of people will be asked whether people believe or not, and if they believe, to what degree. If they reject, to what degree they have rejected. And do they even stop others from believing? To what degree? And after Iman, then Amal as-Salih, the good deeds. And Amal as-Salih, good deeds, basically means all those deeds that Allah has asked us to do, and all those good deeds are in general ma'ruf, in general good deeds, considered good deeds. What's the definition of a good deed? A good deed is any action that's pleasing to Allah. Any action that's pleasing to Allah, that's a good deed. So the combination of Iman and Amal as-Salih is what is required to enter Jannah. And of course, Iman is the first requirement. Without Iman, people, even if they do good deeds, it will not help them. So there must be Iman and then good deeds. لهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وندخلهم ظلا ظليلا. And they will have pure spouses, and we will make them enter a shade that's kind of dense. the shade of paradise is dense, and they really feel the shade when they are there. So, subhanallah, on one side they go to the place that they are burning, and their skins are being replaced, and at the other side, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the believers into the place of enjoyment, and they have purified spouses that they will truly enjoy living with them, and they will have a shade that will really be full of joy and happiness. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically makes the equation of life very simple and very straightforward. Sometimes people make it very complicated. Allah has given basically two criteria, Iman and Amal Salih. Belief and good deeds. And as long as you have belief and good deeds, you are successful in this life and successful in the next life, and you are the best of creation if you have Iman and Amal Salih. And there is no other criteria. Allah does not ask about anything else in the Day of Judgment except these two things, and these two things because they are within our capability. Iman is within our choice, and actions is within our choice. Allah says, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Say that this revelation has come from your Rabb. Now let them choose to become believer, or let them choose to become disbelievers. So it's a choice to believe or disbelieve. And in terms of actions also, Allah says, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. We have given them the guidance, whether they live based on this guidance in gratitude, or they choose to reject it and live based on ingratitude. It's up to them. So Iman and actions are the two areas that we have a choice. That's why we are responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything else that happens to us in this life beyond our choices, we will not be asked about it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us to succeed in the test of Iman and in the test of good deeds. Ya Allah, help us to keep strengthening our Iman every day. Help us to increase our good deeds every day. Ya Allah, help us to increase our useful knowledge every day. Ya Allah, help us to overcome any of the mistakes and issues that we face. Ya Allah, help us to overcome any issues. Ya Allah, protect us from failing in the tests of life, and protect all Muslims all over the world from failing the tests of life, especially the big tests that our brothers and sisters in Palestine, they are facing. Ya Allah, help them to succeed in this test. Ya Allah, help them to succeed and make this test easy on them and for all of us. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.